My name is Rhapsody. There's 8 letters in that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm just very quickly going to make sure, okay, cool, that we've got at least one of the MT2 clans in there. And of course, welcome back to MT2, that is. Seraphiternus, Chosen of Entropy, is going to be who we're going up against near the end of this run. We've also got Hersel's Horde, Pyreheart, gain 4 Ember in deployment phase, and deployable upgrade is 50% cheaper. Also, our leader is Under Legion Bolit the Guillotine. And the allied clan of Wildenton's Root Seeds. So, Eager Conscripts and Root Seeds. I can already see us going in the direction of Rally here, with Amorous Inoki here, 1 Ember, 2 Size, Rally, apply Regen 1, and +1 health to friendly units. 2 copies of Glimmer to give us a little bit of reach, restoring 3 health to friendly units and dealing 3 damage to enemies, and spawning pods for consuming to spawn 4. So yeah, we're definitely going to be doing some sort of spawn rally situation here. So I should probably look at our, there we go, upgrade first here. Hiveminder, on rally gain +1 damage permanently. Yes, please. This early, yes. Yes, I will take that, yes. On deployment phase, draw a room card from your deck, reduce the cost to 0. There's a lot of room cards that can be really, really good with this, specifically for causing additional rallies. Obviously, Hall of Mirrors comes to mind, Infectory comes to mind. Wing Steel is obviously really good as well. I do quite like it, but especially with Root Seeds, as much as I love draw, I'll have a decent amount of it. What I think I need more is immediate power. Start a battle, enemy per each floor, completely fine by me. As long as they give me 75 gold for it. I want as long as possible to spawn as many units as possible. So that's how that one's gonna go. I suppose Amorous Inoki should probably be behind Bolit. But definitely Bolit down first, then Amorous Inoki. We want to get as many of those permanent +1 damages as possible here. I'd also love to hybridize his line, so if I can get Headsman as the other line, then he'll also have the ability to trample with all the damage I'm giving him. Yeah, the goal here is 100% just spawning pods top line, Eager Conscript top line. We kill all of them but one, which is fine. Ooh, thank heck we got Glimmer here, so I have reach to kill the Collector. Huge. Urge a Chime of Despair. I think I'm just going to go for the Root Seeds, honestly, to draw an additional card next turn. It could translate into spawning more minions, which is more permanent rally damage. Granted, I should probably take down the one on the bottom line now. Woof. This Fallen Champion is absolutely going to get past us. But we deal a decent amount of damage to him, so we're only taking another 6 here, and then a 7th from our Vengeful Shard. Granted, I always knew we were going to be taking some damage in this fight. I do ultimately think it's going to be significantly worth it, rather. I'll do it. I strongly suspect I end up going Capacity as our first gem. Bolit being 3 size and not being able to modify the size of Bolit drives me in that direction. Another Spawning Pods, which admittedly will be the best card in this deck for a while. Gooey Flask saps enemy units, Rot decays them. The fact that we've got Seraphiternus of Entropy, so you're sapping 5. Oh, you are the least concerning of the of the units. What is your problem? Your problem is you come with silence, which is not especially relevant to me. I'm just going to take a spawning pods. Sharpen, Restoration, Detonation, or Glimmer. There's a lot of value in Sharpen for the ability to give Slay to a minion that otherwise wouldn't be slaying on AoE. Let's put it on the frontline unit, which could be relevant if I end up going with the on-slay propagate line for Bolly. I think it's worth taking a single copy. Both of those having come with the Calcified Ember, a little less thrilled about that, but I honestly do not even clock that as a downside a lot of the time. It's not too hard in the early fights to find the right turns to play them. So I am heavily considering going to the Merchant of Arms in the second area because there's a couple different things it could really do for us. Giving us just a ability to attack quickly, giving us, you know, multi-strike. I don't think there's a way for me to get trample. Can I look at the equipment that's available to this clan, please? I want to see Under Legion, and I want to see equipment. Just Loam Coat and Mitosis Cap. Alrighty then. And then Clanless. Yeah. Not great. Not great. I guess Equalizing Rings would probably be the best of these. Gives us the ability to make the Amorous Inoki pretty big over the course of the fight. Obviously, a Bloodthirsty Blade is quite nice too. But also Clanless Runes. What do we got here? Hall of Mirrors. Zone of Silence. Probably the best too, if I had to say. Spell Sanctum I could roll with. So basically the rare ones. Boiler Room would also be really good, but not like game-breakingly powerful. I'd probably make that deployable and then get another room, because the deployable one comes in hand and I can easily play it, and the other one would get added to hand at 0 cost. And then finally I need to look at rooms for Under Legion, and yeah, it's Infectory and Grow Room are the two that I really care about here. Is that enough to justify going to the Merchant of Arms in the second area? Because if I do that, I'm going Under Legion and Merchant of Magic here. Which actually is kind of precluding the possibility of running a second line right now. Like, I'm heavily over... I'm getting more minions than I can afford to even put on that line right now. Which means I'm running a second line for a period of time and then getting the Capacity Gem and then putting Under Legion on the same line. Alright, fine. Especially good in my mind because... Oh, wow. I can add... remove Consume from spawning pods, and then we also happen to also get the negative cost and Consume. Great there. I can -1 cost and Intrinsic something. Adding Sharpen to the opening hand certainly isn't bad, but I think spawning pods just giving us the ability to immediately spawn those. Probably more relevant. Unfortunately, we're exactly 5 short of being able to also add a magic power to a Glimmer, which is pretty good to have too. I can just wait until Sharpen comes around. I don't need that consistently in my opening hand. Interesting. So I do want Spore Launcher and I do want to try and fit it in, but 100% it's going to require a mini stone. I need a smidge stone to make that one work. Otherwise, it's capacity gem, and I only get to use it in, you know, rounds 7 and 8. Not especially thrilled by that possibility. So I'll play a Spore Launcher on the bottom line. That's completely fine. And I will rally down there very occasionally, just so that I can take out backline Scourge Givers. Holy, Amorous. Not going to be able to play any of the Calcified Embers in this fight. Oh, Ominous Acolyte's just a healer? Okay, no, I'm just putting all of my spawns on the top line then. This one's always going to be 0 costs. I could play this and Root Seeds. And I will. Yeah! Perfectly timed Glimmer. Love to see that. Yeah, I'm not willing to give up on any of the permanent bonuses on the top line. Legion's going to come up to the top with a decent amount of spikes. It's not going to stand any sort of chance next to the rest of what we're capable of at the moment, though. Flopping a Spear Steward on the bottom line allows me to take care of both of your backliners. And I'll just play out a Vengeful Shard. Root Seeds hopefully helps me draw into additional spawns next turn. And spawning pods will do it. Proliferate, propagate 2 on all units. It's worth noting, obviously, that'll increase the regen. The regen realistically isn't actually that important from Amorous Inoki. It's very passingly important, in fact. It barely ever does anything. It would also add to spikes, but it also increases troop stack from spawning pods, and also increases the decay on enemies that Spore Launcher would be seeing. So for every reason under the sun and more, it's probably Proliferate here. Mushroom Cloud is capable of sacrificing a single fungi to deal 10 damage and 10 decay to enemy units, but it's also still Consume. If I'm only going to be playing this card once, I would actually prefer to play a Proliferate. Try saying that 10 times fast. Sting! Deal 12 damage to the front enemy unit, draw an additional card next turn. If I was incanting, maybe, but I'm not. Vine Grasp will pull someone out of line. Additional regen. I don't think I need any of these, and I think I'm actually a lot cleaner without them. Good opportunity to get a higher reward there. Equalizing rings. Pretty good for the Amorous Inoki. I don't think getting an Enchanted Chamber that only amps my Glimmers right now makes any sort of sense in this deck. I think I just hold my money. Dante, though? Dante? Dante. All right. You do the Dante, don't you? Don't you? Dante the Dependable. Summon, add a permanent Dante's Candle to your deck, add a gain a stack of multi-strike for each blight card in your deck. It's a lot of multi-strike, I just have to turn it into damage. I mean, you have a banner on you. Yeah, I can easily play you in the opening consistently. I could theoretically give you Stoic Plate Mail just for health, but realistically, you just go directly behind the Spore Launcher at the moment. Merchant of Steel. Wow, our first Merchant of Steel availability after this, obviously having just turned down one, to be fair, is in high heaven. Okay. That's a bit late. That's going to make it difficult to really utilize Dante that effectively. I'll figure out how to do it. 3 damage to the buyer, absolutely unacceptable. Not letting that happen. Do I want to drop 1 recruit on a lower line to take out Savage Spearman and the Ominous Acolyte at the same time? When they come to the top line, I will definitely have the damage to take them all out, so it ultimately comes down to whether or not I want to save the Shield Steward. Not relevant to me. Granted, the Shield Steward can prevent damage directly to the Pyre from Archeon's Pyre Hunter. But if I play a... Or you have 18, which means Glimmer saves this line, and so does Spear Steward. But Spear Steward then dies next line, which is fine. Haven't found an opportunity to play out any of those Calcified Embers just yet. Definitely looking keenly for that opportunity. I mean, Root Seeds on Dante also makes a lot of sense as well, but this is eventually going to be a very clear line. Oh, that single spawn on the bottom line actually doesn't do anything to the outcome. All right, I'll hold then. There we go. I figured I needed to prevent the Chosen Flagellant from taking enough of the fungi that stacks down that the fungi was not killing it in response in order to win that line, and that'll do it, yeah. Great. That's the benefit of what the Amorous Inoki is doing for us right now, realistically. Thankfully, Archeon has lost the Pyre Hunter ability right now, which is why this is fine. I'm not losing another 10 for it climbing the next 2 lines. But yeah, that's realistically what the regen and additional health from the Amorous Inoki is accomplishing for us. It's giving a health buffer to the fungi that can be taken away before I lose a single stack of troop. It's got a buffer above it. Because there's only 16 troops in that stack, right? And they get 4 health per troop, so that means, what, 64 of it is troop health? Which means another 24 of it is just free health on top. That I don't lose a single troop. So you're in. It's going to be difficult to convince me that energy is the option that I really need right now. Granted, as I have more Dante's Candles added to the deck and things like that, it will feel more compulsory. It just doesn't feel like my weakness. I think I still take Capacity. Root Seeds on the Amorous Inoki, who completely ignores it because they have the equalizing. Nice. Propagate 2x is pretty good. Wildwood's home with the ability to apply quick to a unit. Gives us the ability to apply quick to Bolete or even Dante. Pretty good targets for that. Nothing to be said about Shard Channeler here. I'm not using spikes fundamentally, so. Wildwood Tome. Being able to give quick to that boss is going to be really useful. Okay, so whoever you are going to be on your own line practically by yourself. Which is exactly what Prickly Puffball wants. I now have the ability to throw Dante on the top line with the Amarasanoki and Bolete, which is probably what I'm going to do, which then means that Spore Launcher and Prickly Puffball hit the bottom. Merchant of Magic's in a weird position where, like, a lot of the things I could have gotten that were really good for me, I already have. I kind of want more, but also I could afford to go to a Merchant of Trinkets right now, and I've mentioned it before, but Underlegion trinkets are ridiculous. I didn't get off at a single one. Artificial Pie Stone, 3 additional Deployment Ember. Can't think of many things I need less. Spikes deal additional damage, and Stings get plus Magic Power and Piercing. We could big whiff by rolling that and still just getting Awoken and Clanless Relics. Harvest gain Regen 1 and Rage 2 is entirely irrelevant to me. I'll be taking Hivemind at 2, gaining additional permanent max health now. I suspect I'm going to be re-rolling in Merchant of Trinkets, but I'll look at the Celestial Alcove first. Oh. I absolutely want to graft equipment to a unit, and it's going to be real difficult to convince me that shouldn't be Dante. Graft an equipment from your deck onto a unit. Equalizing Rings isn't worth it that much. Well, I will say, Dante on the same floor is the target for the Equalizing Rings. However, I do want Dante's damage to be higher than the amount of rally triggers I've done on that floor. Craft a random equipment onto a unit. And Dante, what do you start with? Potion Kit. Boo, his, boo. I'm gonna reroll here and hope that I get, some of the really good ones, like Ever Churning Soil. Draw an additional card for 25 cards in your deck. I don't think I'm gonna get all the way up to 50. It's really difficult, in fact, to get all the way up to 50. But if it draws me one additional card every turn, that sounds good to me. Penitent Pressstone, spawn on each floor. Dante is absolutely gonna die in response to that if I play him early. But I want that money, so what are you gonna do about it? There's a couple things I could do about it, to be fair. Let's drop Spore Launcher, Prickly Puffball on the bottom line. Then this top line wants to be Bolete first, then Amarasanoki behind, then Dante the Daunt Bendable. Because Bolete and Amaras will kill the Penitent Pressstone before Dante even gets to attack. Ooh, Rage 4. Nice infusion, Dante. Another troop, and I think I just start taking the hits from the Vengeful Shards. Eventually, Dante's going to give me the ability to completely ignore their damage, but by that time, the Dante's Candles will also be taking some damage. Yeah, I should be Root Seedsing Dante. You need some damage. Actually, need might be a bit strong there. I'd like you to have some damage. I'd love to play out that Calcified Ember this turn. I can't realistically take 6 Pyre damage to do so, though. Oh no, I'm not going to be able to do anything about the collector. Oh, wait, no. Single spawn gets the rally kills. That'll do it. Nice. Use a shield steward to do the defense on the bottom line. I suppose I can give some damage shield here. Can't ignore the permanents there. Hello, Ajax. Dante's gonna get milled out on damage by Ajax pretty quickly here. I've got to glimmer this line, get rid of those vicious axe throwers while I can. Dante. More rage sounds good to me. Dante, you get an additional multi-strike for each blight, right? Yeah, so you're getting multi-strike for the calcified embers in the deck at the moment. There is an argument that I should leave them. Granted, Dante is not really my most powerful unit, which is the argument in the other direction. Dante will solve almost every problem I have, so I really should be nice to him. That's the grow room. All units propagate one at the end of the turn. Sounds incredible to me. Focus growth, preserve thorns and bramble lash. Given that I already control all of my units' HP perfectly, I don't especially care about stings, and I already have some additional draw next turn relics. And bramble lash relies on spikes. I'll be taking money instead.
Oh, feels good to have my candles burning once more. Now that my Ranjik is recouped, allow me to do something for you in return.
Look, I think it's Dante's candelabra so that I could ignore your blights much more often. Now they'll only be dealing 1 damage, and the Vengeful Shards will deal 0. Also pretty good in the Titan fight, where it basically thirds the incoming damage. Another Underlegion banner. Hersal Sword with an artifact, Empyrean Well. I mean, I have good Empyrean Well targets in my deck, for sure. An Underlegion banner, though. Is there ever a world where I can even justify another unit, really? Yeah, there's a lot of them. Plus the Colonel would probably be the best of them. Yeah, that's ridiculous. First spell played each turn has -1 cost for every 15 cards in your deck. That's just -2 cost for my first spell, which basically means play a card for free. That's a lot of Ember. Spells get an extra upgrade slot. Not bad. Obviously, there's a lot of good things that we can hit with this, especially a spell chain on spawning pods. But I also don't think we're very heavily a spell-based run, so I don't think it's that important. I'm probably going to reroll and look for a different relic. Oh, I've never seen you before. Enchantrelle. 3 Ember, 2 Size. On Rally, apply Sap 1 to enemy units. Oh. Oh, Enchantrelle. Well. Split Anvil. When you play a spell, spells in hand that cost less, or reduce 0 cost for the rest of the turn. I only have 2 spells that would even trigger that, but it's still a lot of savings. Vortex, 100% we're getting rid of Spear Stewards. And hell, I'll go to the Merchant Trinket and remove a Steward. Well, this is interesting. What should our lines be now? I think there's a fair argument that Enchantrelle and Amorous Inoki basically accomplish the same thing. That said, if I can rally enough, then Enchantrelle can send units straight to the Pyre Room. Just let them go. Interesting. I could use Dante as like a catch-up line, which means, I mean, Boleat would always be my first unit, so it'd be Boleat, Enchantrelle, and Amorous Inoki hit the bottom line. Equalizing Ring's Grow Room, so this will also propagate the sap afterwards. Unfortunately, that means the Prickly Puffball is very unlikely to ever get actually struck with damage. Big tank defends Dante. And a Puffball defends it. See, my units are the ones getting sapped here. Well, both of us, actually. Well, thankfully, Amorous Inoki is not really affected by that, and Boleat has so much damage that it's not really affected either. 130 is the output from Dante on the next floor. I'm gonna need to give some more root seeds or damage to Dante somehow. Nice. Root seeds does it, and spawning Eager Conscript and let that roll. Nice, as long as that line goes down. I'll probably throw Sharpen here. In a second, actually. I'm going to Glimmer first, then Sharpen. Decreasing the cost of other spells. Spawning Pod and Proliferate hit the bottom line as well. Shields you over the top. Don't need to worry about the Vengeful Shards. Yeah, when I cycle back to the Wildwood Tome, that obviously goes on Dante at this point. I do like how well these calcified embers are buoying Dante's power, but is Dante's power really that important to the deck right now? There are different schools of thought on that. Actually, hang on, I believe I only need to play out one Eager Conscript, then sharpen, and I can play the rest of this for free. Get rid of the Dante's Candle, Root Seeds the next floor. Irrelevant, but I wanted to do it. Finding a way to make sure that I'm rallying on the boss is pretty important, but when we're fighting the flying bosses and the titans at the end of a run, where most is super important, I'll already be able to manage that. It's the bosses that turn up on the final turn after I've done all the spawns from my deck that really cause a little bit of an issue, because I don't have an end of round propagate. I don't, cause... Oh, wow. Fungi to suit, hello. Dig deep! Spawn one! For every 10 cards in your deck, spawn one more. That is exactly what I want, and also Fungi in a Suit is... It's basically the impact of Amorous Inoki. It gives it a boundary of additional health on top of its actual health pool. That said, if the stack gets very large, this eventually just becomes stack unkillable now. But that is also true of just making the stack large. I'm going to take Dig Deep because it doesn't consume. Fire Grow, consume. Draw -2 cards next turn. Get +1 Ember per turn for the rest of the battle. That's huge. That's really going to help justify not going for a Energy Relic next. Looking at the moment like we're leaning draw. High Remain, certainly still good for us. Unstable Vortex, I certainly still have cards I want to remove. Oh, wow. Quick and +10 for Dante immediately. I'm pretty happy to see that. Multi-strike, I'm going to give to Amorous Inoki, who again holds the Equalizing Ring. +14 damage straight up to Dante? I think so, and +10 health and Spike. I think that could go on Prickly Puffball. Remove the Shield Steward, and God, those calcified embers want to start going. And as soon as I have the ability, I will start playing them out, so I don't need to remove them this way. Sharpen feels bad, but I don't need to remove it. Root Seeds is pretty bad in this deck right now. Next area is another Merchant of Steel. Realistically, what do I even want from that? Dualism. It's dualism for Enchantrelle. It's absolutely the best thing. A Smidge Stone so that Spore Launcher could possibly justify going on floor with someone else. If I take Capacity here, the reason I'm taking Capacity is so that I can put Dante on the same floor as Bolete, Amorous, Enchantrelle, and our troop stack. That could be good enough. It's also worth noting a lot of the things that we get from the brewing kit that Dante has are buffs that could be propagated by Grow Room. So we'll look out for opportunities to do that. For the moment, it's Bolitz, Amorous Inoki, Enchantrelle. Then Enchantrelle gets... No, Amorous Inoki gets the Equalizing. Prickly Bubble. Hey? Prickly Bubble is pretty much a better unit than Spore Launcher for that floor. Alright, I stand by it then. It was originally a mistake, but one of those ones you stand by. Those are not what we're looking for. I guess we can take Regen so that I can try and build on top of it and maybe get Reanimate and then have that propagate constantly on bottom line. Probably not going to be relevant, but I'd like to have it, so that makes it relevant to me. I feel like in this Dante run I should really go up to Super Ultra for the speed, because he's taken a while to resolve. Also, he already attacks it quick. I don't need... I don't need him to get quicker. He's already as quick as they come. Spawning pods, then zero costs all of the rest of this. See, you get up to the top line and you have no damage for a couple of turns, so you just get hit. Courtesy of having so much sap on you. And now Kale is also not doing any damage ever again. Nice to see it. Seeds for Dante. And he'll give us another potion next turn. Come on, Reanimate. It's irrelevant, but I would like to propagate it. Yay! Let's give spikes to the front unit so you can propagate that, and then Reanimate to you. I think I should burn a Calcifer Ember now. It's about time. I might actually, in this run, finally have a good use for apply 5 times decay equal to sap. I might finally be able to use that effectively here. We play one of the Dig Deeps, then sharpen. O costs the rest of it for us. Please let me get Bolit the Guillotine on Slay. On Slay, propagate trigger, please. Right, finally a turn where it's very easy to justify removing another. Hey, Goliath Infusion's also pretty good for the bottom line as something that gets propagated every turn. Another good turn to remove a Calcified Ember. I don't need 2 Wildwood Tomes. Gives me an opportunity to take Fungi, though. Additional capacity so I can put Dante on the same floor as everyone else. I like it, and it basically does mean I just have 1 floor kill floor. Which, what's wrong with that? Like, is there anything wrong with that? I don't think there's anything wrong with that here for us. I don't think anyone really makes it off that floor. There's not great equipment. Especially because Dante already has a potion kit. Like, there's not that many great pieces of equipment that I can add to this right now. So yeah, let's take the steel. Give me dualism. That's not dualism. Multi-strike, though. Oh, another multi-strike for the Amarasanoki? Yes, please. Yeah. Yeah, actually, I think I can take that one. Titanite's nice, but it's not relevant in this run. I'm going to take the hard roll here for the dualism. Smidgestone is also really cool, but dualism on rally, apply sap 2 to enemies? There's the Slay, friendly units from Gate 1. I mean, yeah, Headsman having that is really good. And you will be slaying semi-regularly, I suppose. Really depends on where I position Dante. I think our best dupe here is another 0-cost spawning pod. I mean, our best dupe here is another Dante. Really. But do I need another Dante? Because you get 9 multi... No. That's in excess of requirement. Also, I'm not as good at spawning cards as I want to be. As spawning troops, rather. I do need a little help there, I think. Plus in health, spikes 3. I mean, look, I can throw that on the prickly bubble. There's no reason not. Enemy units appear on each each floor. That is exactly what the prickly bubble is for. Also, if this costs me HP, it costs me HP. I'm fine with that. I do want to do my kill floor on the bottom floor because I need to kill Rax down there. Grow room, Bolite, Amorous, Enchantrelle. Dante the Dependable goes behind all of them. Let's give Quick to Bolite so that I actually get to attack here. Actually, that was already 0-costed, so in order to save 1 Ember, I will play something else first. Oh, no, wait, I did that. Right, never mind. Can't play all of these. My mistake. Oh, if only I got unstable. Would have been so useful here. Unfortunately, I'm going to be leaking 48 damage to the top line. That's just how that one's going to happen. Thankfully not too scared about that. Let's... I mean, as soon as I play Fungi in a suit, everything else is going to be zero-costed, but everything else already is zero-costed, so what do I do with that? If I play Fungi in a suit first, it doesn't zero-cost the Sharpen. No, it doesn't. Okay. But I also don't need to play Sharpen. I'm going to take 2 fire damage this turn to get rid of the Calcified Ember. Nice opportunity to summon Small Launcher out of the deck. It's going to be really useful to have that 2-Titan skin on Hersal Sword. It's going to prevent Savagery from dealing 5 to us for each of these lines. I'll only take 3, which is still not great, but survivable. Like turns like that. Very easy. Just play the cards that you have. Oh, I don't want the infusion. I don't want the unstable to get those slays, so I will just wait for Boleat to do it. Because when Boleat slays, that causes another troop to be spawned, which causes Boleat to gain permanent stats. Mulch. Draw an additional card next turn. For every 15 cards in your deck, draw an additional card more. Sounds great to me. Pandemic is also pretty good if I'm going for a Merchant of Magic here. I'm not going for the Merchant of Steel. So yeah, I suppose I'm going Merchant of Magic here. So Pandemic, so I have the ability to... no, I'll be heavily sapping Savagery regardless already. Enchantrelle has got that covered. Pandemic would effectively just be sap that I can throw on other lines. Ooh, another Pyagro? Yeah, you know what? I'll take it. Slight downside is not being able to get Pyre Remains on this side, but hopefully... Spell Chain, you say? Dig Deep spawns a lot. Before I do that... Yeah, these are the kinds of things we're looking for. First time each turn, a spell card with Consumer's Blade, draw 1, and at the start of the turn, friendly units propagate 1. Thanks. That's a lot of power for us. In terms of removing cards from the deck, I bet it's going to be Root Seeds, and then I'm going to click them, so don't take the bet. You can remove Consume from a card, and also -2 cost Consume it. Removing Consume from Fungi, and then -2 it. Sounds Sounds great to me. Spell chain. Spell chain spawning pods? But unfortunately it's got consume. I don't want it to consume. Spell chain dig deep. Oh. Holdovers here. It's probably -1 to intrinsic to dig deep. Yeah. And plus 20 consume to a glimmer. Sounds about right to me. You may sap my units, that is fine. I'll manage to avoid it, I promise you. Bolite, follow. Amorous, then Enchantrelle. Dante demandably stands up the back line. Great. Okay. First cast this turn is going to be a dig deep. Oh, interesting. The 0 cost that it had, courtesy of Ancient Roots, was propagated to its spell chain. Interesting. That's it. Pandemic on the boss. Now 0 costs the rest of our spells in hand, so... Spawning boards, spawning boards. High grow, high grow. Dig even deeper. And... sure. One more, why not? Mm-hmm. Oh, I knew I wasn't going to be drawing that many cards this turn. It does not matter at all. Also, the big sap on my entire floor hasn't turned out to be especially important here either. See both of those. Conscript into sharpen. Ooh, sharpen's way worse for me. Oh, because I miss out on a bunch of propagate triggers. Oh no, wait, I'm never gonna get those. Okay, sharpen on the front line then. Reanimate's not especially effective at this bottom line, but I might as well start playing that one out. Sapping all my units this much is really annoying as well. Oh, wait! Those Curses of Entropy only do 3 damage to the Pyre on resolve, so if I ignore them, they'll get discarded and I'll only take 1 damage to the Pyre, which I can afford. Yeah, I'm gonna keep it this way. We have nothing in hand expensive enough to be able to handle them. Regen and reanimate. There you go, Dante. You have reanimate now. Enjoy. Yeah, drawing a lot of candles. That silence unit's certainly annoying here. Thankfully, we'll be fighting Serapaternus next turn, so I won't have to worry too much about it. That'll do it. I love a good consistent kill floor. Just wish I wasn't having Dante sapped so much. If Dante's first thing creates Rage, then that propagates with Grow Room and it propagates with Shroomphonics, so instead of losing 1 Rage each turn, he gains 2 Rage each turn, which is exactly where I need him to be. Actually growing damage. Gosh forbid it gets, you know, propagated again by a Bolete. Sorry, tried to inhale coffee there. Turns out my lungs aren't made for that. One of these days I'll figure out which hole the coffee's supposed to go in. Alright, Clash of the Titans, let's go. Bolete with the Amorous Inoki and Enchantrelle. There's our back line. That's about where we leave it now. I have a lot of 1 costs and nothing 2 costs in this hand, unfortunately. Dante Rage! Yes! Time for you to Rage face, Dante! Oh, him with the Pyro and get a Spore Launcher for my troubles, you say? Absolutely not what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to be digging deep twice. And spawning pods. Yeah, let's sap Savagery 30 immediately. So you have negative 60 damage right now out of your total of 15. Which means you don't attack. Unfortunately, you will still deal damage directly to the pyre. Yeah, I'd love not to sap my units, so I'm just going to let that Curse of Entropy deal the damage to me and then disappear. So I'm going to go pretty decently against Entropy and Savagery. My hardest fight is going to be Dominion. I just need to make sure I play Pyrelite every turn to balance the scales on that, though. Second Pyagro is out. I'll be drawing 3 cards next turn, but I'll also have 5 Ember a turn afterwards. Dante has propagated all of that 4 rage up into 16 at this point. He's learned how to do damage. Stable. I could add Frostbite to the top line. Yeah, pretty irrelevant. Pandemic, however, you are exactly why I added that to the deck. Getting Reanimate doesn't make any sort of sense for me, so I think I just drop Madman Potion, try and get another Rage to throw on Bolete. Yeah, half of Savagery's remaining health is going to disappear here. If only I got Deadly Variant. That's the 5 sap in Decay to a unit. I finally have the deck fully prepared for just that exact spell. And I don't have it. Entropy is also losing 1,000 health here. Yeah, we'll be fine. This is truly a one-floor strategy. Those other 2 floors, theoretically, could have held units. Dante, I'll throw your additional sap on the top line. Alright. That's everyone except for Dominion dead. Firelight will make short work of you in 2 turns. Or rather in 2 attacks, which is now this turn. This unit, where are you? Enchantrelle is ridiculous. On rally, apply sap 1 to enemy units. Being able to apply dualism to that, absolutely ridiculous. That has been so cool. Obviously, though, it is worth noting these are the real strengths of the run-up here. Amorous Inoki's actually getting pretty serious at 87 with 3 multi-strike, but it's really difficult to justify or to argue that that is doing most of my damage in a world where Dante is sitting in the back line doing 95 damage 10 times before the enemies get to respond. That said, completely preventing enemies that even get past us from being able to do anything even when they get to our pyre. Good work, Enchantrelle. Alright. I think it's about time to end that turn. And watch the Titans collapse. Pretty quick Titan run at 10 minutes after the hour. We can see there as well the impact of the ridiculously powerful Under Legion relics. Ever-churning Soil just drawing additional cards for us. Ancient Roots just giving us extra energy every single turn. Like, a lot of them are very analogous to boss relics. Shroomphonics and Verdant Cycle. Verdant Cycle was drawing a card most turns. Shroomphonics and having a grow room both for 2 propagate, and that's before any additional triggers from Boleat Slay. So damn powerful. I think Underlegion might be the clan that doesn't have any stories left, unfortunately, as well. So despite having an MT2 clan, we're going to go straight to the ending here and say that my name's been Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Monster Train 2. Top left is a series playlist for all my content of the game, past, present, and future. YouTube recommendations are down below. Streaming past are the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays. Out above the thank tier, and a special thanks this episode to Eloise. Hopefully you'll have been enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we see you all next time.